Welcome to DTLT today, and look at this. I am finally no longer alone. Good
Hey,
stuff.
everybody.
In case you don't know who this is Jim Groom. He's actually our director, and on occasion, he comes to work. So
Every so often.
But now he's sick, so
with
he's
my
like
fancy.
so he's useless to
It
us.
catches my fancy.
So, and of course, Andy Rush, the Andy Rush.
Hey, Miles. And this is Miles,
Yeah.
my buddy Miles.
Yes, and this whole
You're not
thing
even
is
in the
called
screen.
radio.
Move over.
Alright. Can I
You're non-diegetic right now.
As you can see, we have a
What's
studio
that word?
audience today, and we were trying to give them tips ahead of time on how to respond as we talk about what we're going to talk about, and maybe they will when we say things like, "This is cool."
Isn't this cool?
Go out and get it.
Ah.
Go out in the hallway.
Bless
and get
you.
it.
All right. So,
It's
What do
out
we-
in the hallway, Anto.
what are we talking about, Jim?
Talk about cool uses of UMW Blogs this semester so far. And there are many. We're going to highlight some. We may forget a few, so we apologize in advance.
Can I ask you something?
But no, you cannot. Quiet, boy. What we're going to do is
Jim,
we're
that's
going to...
Okay,
bullying.
all
Don't talk
this
to your son
Sturgeon
like that.
family and all these people are like rocking out and they're like doing their own thing and they're like the famous people all around and there's one over there who's just
Son,
working on it.
you're like a child lost in the woods. You have no context for what we're talking about.
Yeah, I do. I have context and they are and everybody's just working on the computer like.
So Miles, what do you think of UMW Blogs?
I think that it's great, and I think this is the best W blogs I ever seen.
Okay.
This is your dad's bread and butter here.
Yeah.
Yeah, bread and butter what? Bread and butter are you
You know, you
toasty?
see that sweatshirt you wear?
Mhm.
It should not say soccer. It should say UMW Blogs.
Can it
Because
say-
that's what put that sweatshirt on your back.
Then go get me an W blog shirt.
I should. You're a good question. Okay, look, you're hijacking our show. Out.
No?
You're off the couch. You're officially off the cuddle couch.
I'm off the couch.
You're
No.
banished
Then
from
why?
the cuddle couch.
Then why? If I'm banished, then why do
I
I
have
don't
a
have
lot
to go
of kids.
outside? Because I can come in the screen anytime.
All right. This is going well.
This is good. UMWblogs.org, and I should point out, I've got the website here. There's actually a page that lists all the courses that are happening throughout the semester. So it's a kind of cool place to go, and if you go up top here and click on courses, and you get a list of everything that's happening this semester. So not only is it good for me as a bookmark of what's going on during the semester, but it's cool for people to go in there and see what Mary Washington is doing with the program.
A lot of times, one of the things that we thought was very cool is that faculty actually, without us knowing, look at other faculty's sites.
Yeah.
And they model them
Look what I made.
on top of that, which is
Look what I
interesting.
made.
Beautiful. So, it's a good open resource
Right.
without having to kind of imagine open as a kind of OER.
Bye-bye.
I feel like we're being circled
I know.
by sharks. Look at the penguin.
Can I hi, I'm Tess.
Okay,
And we're the this is university my people. And
I'm the director. I can do this now.
My dad is the best. My dad is the best.
So Tim, what's our first example?
This is actually one that Jim brought up.
What is it? You would say PES.
This site is Women in Modernism,
Whoa.
Gynomod.
Gynomod by
Tell me a
Mara
little bit.
Scanlon.
Can I tell
Well,
you?
what I really like about it is that, quiet boy. What I really like about
Okay,
this.
I thought it was going to be the UMC.
Can we talk about this for a second? We have people paying top dollar to watch this TV show right now. Now, we have a group of the faculty, the students every week do an audio presentation that we've now have them capturing And we have an audio library of all their presentations over the course of the semester so far on various topics. And they also do a blog post in relationship to it that frames their presentation slides, their thinking about the presentation, their research, all that. Now, that's only one small part of what this blog is used for. It's also used for ongoing sharing of links, as you see on the front page of it, videos, resources, etc. But she kind of built in this formalized element to share the actual work the students do moving forward.
Yeah, and
that's going to become a repository or whatever you want to call it, but it's actually part of the real resources.
Yeah, I love the embedded audio players website. It's great stuff.
It's really...
Blah, 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 blah. All right. The UCB has an idea of
Next one.
This is where I'm unschooling get you.
Yeah. Some important content.
And here comes the big burp.
All right.
I don't believe in discipline.
This is not unlike much of The Office, even when it's just Jim here.
This is a train wreck. Okay, Miles, Tessie, quiet now. We got to finish this strong.
Can I guys tell you something?
Yeah.
This might be an interesting part to go with the YNCS.
Here, Miles, come here. Come here. I gotta tell you something.
All right. The next one that I wanted to take a look at is Jeff McClurk. What is she doing with the microphone?
You can't take that. We need it.
Tell him something.
Our set is literally coming apart in front of our eyes.
No,
It is.
I have to put it in the show. It
Okay.
will be really interesting
Very
for
good.
all the people.
Yes, thank you. Now, Tess, you got to be good and quiet.
All right. The next one we should talk about is Jeff McClurkin's Information Age Timeline.
That's right.
This is at infoagetimeline.umwblogs.org.
Yeah.
And they're actually using Simile
Yes.
for this, and this is a plugin on top of WordPress. So the Simile WordPress plugin that allows them to create posts that then show up on the timeline. And if I click on one of these, you can see.
I put this on my head.
Cut back the camera. Put that back on.
Okay.
And then go out and dance in front of the camera.
Can I do it too?
Go. Okay, now you got to be good. We got to finish this. That was you guys both had your time in the sun.
Is that funny?
Yeah, it was. Now you got to stop, or else people aren't going to think you're funny. They think you're annoying. It's a thin line.
Yeah, as we know. So this is the Info Age timeline. And when you click on these posts, you can see they're able to insert photos. Some of them use video, pictures, all kinds of good stuff in there.
Now, also, didn't Al Liddell and Martha figure out how to deal with the BC?
They did. So yeah, Simile supports BC dates, but this timeline plugin that we were using did not. So Alan wrote some sort of adjustment to it.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's very
I love
cool.
that he did that.
So they're
Go student aids.
Yeah, they're continuing to work on that. That is Info Age timeline, but informationage.umwblogs.org is where they're actually narrating their process of creating it, and Jeff McClurkin goes on there and posts information for them and that kind of thing too. So they're actually using two separate sites, which is a model that a lot of professors like to use.
Yeah, and
where you've got-
that's linked off the main site. And
Yeah.
Jeff actually linked to a couple of really good examples of ads that his students did in the time period. In the time period of the era,
Yeah.
which I thought they were really well done. What did I say? Okay,
Mustache.
go get some water. Go outside, get water.
I don't need water.
Okay.
Now, if we're talking about innovative websites, we should definitely talk about the Venice exhibit. This is something
Yeah.
that's a 2011 iteration of something that already exists, right?
Yeah, kudos. Absolutely. This is the third iteration, but kudos
Oh,
to you to bringing the design to the next level. We lost the first iteration.
Oh, okay.
It was on a Bluehost account, and Bluehost, I don't know what happened, but we lost the whole database. Nightmare.
So this is Marjorie Ock's class, and they have they did this last time in 2008, or was it last year? How?
2009?
2009.
And then before then, 2007.
Okay.
So every 2
2009.
years she teaches this seminar.
Gotcha. And so that original site was venice.umwblogs.org. This one is venice11.umwblogs.org. And I'll pull this up. What's great about this is using the autofocus theme.
Yeah, this is nice. You should
And-
show some of this off.
Well, it's really cool stuff because one thing that we were able to do is we randomize the posts. So anytime you go to the website, when you refresh it, they're completely reordered.
What's going on?
And so with these
Miles
things,
is.
I don't know what I'm doing anymore.
You're lost.
I'm a
They have
little
shaken you.
You
Because
talk
your
about
kid's
this.
only one.
Yeah.
Show them how they can move the images.
Oh, I have to log in. For
You
that.
got to be able to work under pressure here at DTLT. And it's got to be working in the trenches.
Okay. Can I tell something
All right,
now?
I've got to log in real quick. You
Okay.
know, you want me to do this? So this is using the autofocus theme, and this is actually the pro version, which costs, I want to say like $25 or something, but it's well worth it because in addition to letting you do things like pull in Flickr images and stuff like that into it, which this makes a really awesome just portfolio.
Yeah.
We've got at least one other art professor, Joe DeBello, using this for his actual portfolio
You
site.
should really update it.
Yeah.
Because that updated premium version is nice.
Yeah. So, but if I go here, now that I'm logged in, what's nice is, so this automatically crops the image for you, but let's say you wanted to move this around. When you've got your mouse over it, you can actually just slide the image around, hit the save button, and then it remembers that position for the image. So you can crop it to specific areas of the image that you're trying to show, which is just really awesome. They've just started working on some of this stuff, so we're still playing around with some of this. But it shows photo credits when you roll over it, and they're going to be putting in other information down below. And we're also talking, I guess, about combining this with categories or related posts in some way so that we can relate posts between each other for different parts of the exhibit that go together, like, for example, the ones that use glass.
But I love the
Like
way
that.
that this image up top can, if you put 6 images in that post, if you upload 6 images to that post, it can be a slideshow.
Right.
Each with its own kind of little caption. And then the text below can narrate another kind of series of discussions.
Yeah.
You know, information, bibliography, all that. So
And-
it's a very cool framework.
And the other thing that's nice, we're playing around, they've got fancy box JavaScript built into it, so you can have a gallery down below, and when you click on them, it zooms them in full screen like this, which looks really awesome too. So I'm
Yeah.
excited for what this is going to be when it's all done. This opens December 14th. Is their
So
official
we have a month just
opening.
about.
Yeah.
That
so,
seems weird.
yeah.
Well, you know, luckily the theme and the framework is taking care of a lot of it. They're happy with it. All we really have to do is kind of come up with a couple of hacks for the categories and related posts.
Now, can that only be used by that site, or is that a site-wide theme that can be used?
It's a site. I mean, anybody can use that theme.
Okay.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
it's the newer version of autofocus that shows
And you
up in
bought
UMW
it, Tim.
Blogs.
You got to stop paying for all this stuff.
You know,
We got to get you reimbursed,
do what we
dude,
got to do.
for the Amazon and for this.
I do want to mention some of Zach Whalen stuff. Zach Whalen we had on a previous show a little while back, and he does some really incredible stuff. One of them is actually being ran in part, not solely, but in part through Reddit.com. And
It's
it's
nice.
this
I like
writing
that.
through media class. And you can see that one of their assignments is they've got to try and get themselves upvoted by the Reddit community.
Yeah.
Which is interesting because it's actually started to conform the way that what they post and how they write it. So
Yeah.
you can see where they sort of play into the strengths of the memes that exist in Reddit. So that's kind of fun too.
And I love that idea of, and Jeff McClurkin has started to do it a little bit also with his InfoEdge classes. The idea of really bringing your discussion out on the web.
Yeah.
UMW Blogs, I mean, I think really kind of models that, but when you start getting off that entirely and you're doing it on Reddit or some other place, I mean, awesome. You know,
Right.
all the better.
Yeah. And the other one that's really cool is he's actually got a graphic novel class that's going on right now.
Yeah.
And you mentioned he's got a pretty decent looking site, but it's running in Drupal. But the students have blogs on umwblogs.org that are using the Comic Press.
Comic Press theme framework. So I just uploaded the other day another like 6 or 7 child themes for Comic Press,
Okay.
which allow the students to get a wide range of kind of themes within the theme design. So there's, I think, about 5 or 6 groups that are doing graphic novels. and they're building them on UMW Blogs. And they're really compelling stuff. It's very cool. It's wild. I love that. Thank you, Tommy. So, I mean, and we've been doing that with him for years. But see, what happened, and what really is to me the story of UMW Blogs this semester is, it seems like it's so much more responsive, quick, and when we put plugins and themes up like this, they just work.
Yeah.
And we're having like a lot of success. It's a really kind of mature, robust system right now. And I mean, I think we're only talking about a fraction of them. We can look at Chris Voss's Oscar Wilde seminar.
Yeah.
We could look at the James Farmer distributed seminars we're doing. We could look at the computer science stuff. Some of the, I mean, there's amazing stuff happening all over the community.
Well, and what's so nice about it too is that, you know, because the WordPress community, I mean, there's so many plugins, so many themes that it's really like it empowers you to be able to say whatever you want, we can make it happen. And that's really been the toe line, that when people come in and say, I've got this idea, I want to do this or that with WordPress, usually we can say, yeah, well, let's figure it out, but we can do that.
Well, what about the stuff you did? And I love, because Tim's been experimenting with custom posts, is you did that stuff with Will McIntosh.
Martha too, with the online learning initiative.
Absolutely, and she
Yeah.
did that whole thing and digress it. So it's really, and I love the idea that yes, it deals with courses, but then there's a whole series of stuff dealing with administrative sites, dealing with like kind of useful practical sites like submission and vetting of each other's proposals for an online learning initiative. It's just really, and then students still, for example, go to this site. This is a great example. It's called hirehassan.com. Got an email from the student
How
yesterday.
do you spell Hassan?
Hassan. Hire Hassan. Great student. I think he's graduated. He's gone now. Hirehassan.com. Nothing. Hassan.
HIRE. I was doing higher, is it?
Oh,
Lift me.
like
higher
he
and
was
higher.
higher.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, like that.
But so here's a great example. He's been playing with this for a year and a half. He emailed me the other day. He had a couple of things he wanted me to help him hack out because the actual archive site was showing all his pages. He's using this to apply to several different law schools. And each law school he has a predetermined page for that he doesn't want the others to see. So he really kind of, this is a Genesis theme framework that he kind of worked with. And I really love what he's done with it. I mean,
This is
I just
really
think
nice.
is a really, this is a student who's no longer here, who's using it very specifically to go to grad school, to get hired.
Sure.
And this is someone who's just emailed me the other day, and it's like very little time investment on my part. And I love what they're doing with it.
Well, and we mentioned, you know, we always have those one-off stories here and there of the interaction with the community around UMW Blogs, but you blogged about this just recently with one that came to the fore.
This is
that was just
awesome.
really cool stuff. So Rosemary Janowski has
Jesenowski.
Jesenowski?
Yeah.
I knew
I think
butchered
that's
that.
right, but I wouldn't even put money on it.
Yeah. Well, she's got this digital arts class that she's teaching on UMW Blogs. This is the website. And each student has their own blog with interesting stuff. And you blogged about this just the other day.
It's a thing that's been going on for years between her and this artist, or the students and this artist, and they have traditionally panned his art. Because she has them go out and look at artists online and review their work.
Right.
And they have panned him, and he's take their pans and put him on his about page because he's a digital artist. Like, and basically, like, you know, University of Mary Washington saying his art makes me feel cold, or I feel nothing, I feel numb.
Right.
His art's like a dead fish. And so they actually, you know, he's played with this, but I guess they took it to the next level, and he loved it. They actually started imitating his art.
They did.
And so he wrote a big post about, you know, how honored he was
Yeah.
that they hate my art so much they think they can do it effortlessly. And so, like, there's this great back and forth between a digital artist in LA and a group of kind of students at Mary Washington that are really having this fun back and forth. And for me, that is the best
Yeah.
possibility of UMW. That's UMW Blogs at its best. And I just think it's fun because they're honest, they're open, but they're playing a game. And that game around the art and around them mocking the art and around the artist responding, really for me is everything that's magical about the social web.
Yeah.
And that we can kind of harness that on UMW Blogs is just, I mean, it's what we've always all worked for. Yeah.
And you know, you don't want to be a broken record about it, but the fact that it's published to the web instead of locked behind an LMS is just huge. I mean,
Well-
those kind of interactions just don't happen when you ask your student to put up a discussion post inside of Blackboard.
And I've been on tour, as you know, recently, and I've heard it from you both.
I've heard it. Yeah.
That's right. But one of the things I say while I'm on tour, amongst other several genius things I say, one of the things I note is that, you know, if you search the term band art in Google, search the term Black Mountain Poets in Google, UMW blog sites are the first hit or the second hit on Google for these kind of really kind of important intellectual terms. And so how do we're starting to see that. We've been around long enough. We have enough Google juice. We have enough good kind of respected articles. But how do we keep pushing that? And how do we kind of encourage other universities? Because we're starting to see with the right tools, we can populate the web with the right and kind of not the right content, but with some valuable content. I don't think there's any right content. You know, and I think a lot of people who saw that Jeff Bye thing between the students and them would not think that's the right kind of content because it's very tongue-in-cheek and, you know, even gets a little nutty. But I think it's enough. Like, the platform can contain multitudes, kind of like Whitman.
Yep.
And that's what we love about it. And it also reaps tremendous rewards in terms of our students being found. I mean, search Hire Hassan, you know, search that guy Hassan. He's the first hit.
Yeah.
I mean, students realize that. They're not stupid. You know, and they know that some things that are easier or harder in other platforms, fine. But UMW Blogs has something other platforms don't have. And that is respectability and extremely powerful search possibilities.
Yeah.
And puts them in a situation to be discovered, which is really what you want. Right, Miles?
No.
Oh.
No, because I hate your show.
Well, there you have it.
And on that note,
Yeah.
My
We
son hates my
tried, we
show.
failed. He hates our show. Hopefully you don't. And hopefully you'll keep
I love
tuning in.
it. I love it.
Oh, good.
good examples of
Whatever.
good stuff that's going on at Mary
It's
Washington.
not letting me talk and not letting me do my
Okay,
thing.
why don't you get that before we end? Why don't you get that wig on and the glasses and the mustache?
Fine.
Thanks. Okay, before we go though, our special guest, and I want to kind of apologize. I know my kids were here having fun, but I kind of. It's okay. I wasn't
You're
apologizing to
apologizing
you.
to me. You should.
I wasn't.
This is my
Yeah,
show.
you bet. It's not your show.
Hi.
And hi, say hi. But you know, my
Hi.
kids just wanted to make one last goodbye, and I wanted to have them apologize to the community. But Miles has something to show you. Just look out for a second.
My brother's gonna be very funny, and I don't want you to please say that he's gonna be very funny.
Okay, ready?
It's not funny when you explain.
1, 2, 3, come out, Miles.
Okay, we don't know.
He's almost
Okay,
done.
we're ready. That's DTLT today,
Close your eyes
and we have one more thing for you. Come on out, Miles.
2,
It's quite the reveal.
Come on out, buddy.
3.
Come on out, buddy.
Here he comes.
And I'm a
Go.
two-headed guy.
Go,
Oh my
go,
God.
go,
He
go.
has two- La, 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 la.
Thank you.